The worst Christmas of my life started with Uncle Craig's voice cutting through the dining room like a rusty knife. No man will ever marry a girl with baggage, Reese. You might as well accept that now. My name is Reese, and I was 17 years old, holding my 3-month-old son Jaden, while my entire family laughed at Craig's joke. Well, not laughed exactly. More like that uncomfortable chuckling people do when someone says something cruel but true enough that they don't know how to respond. I sat there in my thrift store sweater, watching my mother nod along like Craig had just shared some profound wisdom. My father stared at his mashed potatoes. My sister, Jessica, the golden child who'd never put a toe out of line, actually giggled. I mean, what kind of man wants to raise another man's kid? Craig continued, sawing into his ham with theatrical precision. Especially when the mother couldn't even keep her legs closed in high school. The silence that followed was deafening. Jaden started fussing in my arms, probably sensing the tension radiating off me like heat from a furnace. Craig, my mother finally said, but not in defense of me. Not at the dinner table. Not because it was wrong, because it was inappropriate dinner conversation. I stood up slowly, my chair scraping against the hardwood floor. Excuse me, I need to feed him. There's a blanket in the back room, my mother said without looking at me. It's warmer in here, but she didn't want me breastfeeding at the Christmas table. Got it. I walked to the back room, the cold, drafty space where they stored Christmas decorations and old furniture. The room that used to be my bedroom before I got pregnant and moved out. I sat on a dusty ottoman and lifted my shirt, letting Jaden latch on while tears I refused to shed burned behind my eyes. Through the thin walls, I could hear Craig's voice again. I'm just saying, someone needs to tell her the truth. She's living in a fantasy if she thinks any decent man will want damaged goods. More murmurs of agreement. More silence from the people who were supposed to love me. That's when it clicked. Sitting in that freezing room, feeding my baby while my family discussed my worthlessness over Christmas dinner, I made myself a promise. One day, I would make them eat every single word. 5 years later, I'm staring at an appointment request on my computer screen, and I can't help but smile. Craig Jordan, urgent personal consultation. My assistant Daria pokes her head into my office. You okay? You've been staring at that screen for like 10 minutes. I'm fine. I lean back in my leather chair, still processing. Just surprised by a name. Good surprised or bad surprised? Both. I close the laptop. Cancel my 3 o'clock. I want to take this meeting personally. Daria raises an eyebrow. She's been my business partner for 3 years, and she knows I don't usually handle individual consultations anymore. Not since Riley Investment Group started pulling in 8 figures annually. This guy must be special. Oh, he is. I stand up and walk to the window overlooking downtown. He taught me everything I know about motivation. The irony is perfect. Craig Jordan, the man who told me I'd never amount to anything, is now begging for a meeting with the CEO of one of the fastest-growing investment firms in the state. He has no idea that CEO is me. According to his preliminary financial disclosure, the one every potential client has to submit, he's drowning. 4 mortgages in default, business bankruptcy proceedings, liens on everything he owns. The self-made man who used to lecture everyone about fiscal responsibility is about to lose it all. I pull up his file on my phone and scroll through the details. It's worse than I thought. Much worse. Daria! I call out. Set up the meeting for tomorrow. The Meridian Restaurant, private dining room. 2 o'clock. Got it. Should I prepare the standard consultation packet? No. I'm already planning what I'll wear. Something expensive. Something that screams success. This one's going to be very non-standard. I spend the rest of the day reviewing Craig's financial disaster, and with each page, my smile grows wider. Karma, it turns out, has excellent timing. 24 hours from now, Uncle Craig is going to learn what baggage really looks like. I spend 40 minutes getting ready, which is 39 minutes longer than I usually need. The black Armani suit fits like armor. The Louboutin heels click against my marble foyer with the kind of authority that costs $3,000. My reflection in the hallway mirror shows a woman Craig won't recognize. Gone is the scared teenager in thrift store clothes. In her place stands someone who could buy and sell his entire life without checking her bank balance. "Mom, you look scary," Jaden says from the kitchen, not looking up from his homework. "Good scary or bad scary?" "The kind of scary that means someone's about to get their ass handed to them." Language. You taught me that phrase. He's not wrong. Finish your algebra. I'll be back by dinner. The drive to Meridian takes 20 minutes in my matte black Range Rover. I chose this restaurant specifically. It's where Craig used to take clients back when he had money, back when he thought he was untouchable. I arrive first and wait in the private dining room, positioned so I can see his face the moment he walks in. The server brings me sparkling water with lime. I don't touch it. At exactly 2 o'clock, Craig appears in the doorway. He looks older than his 56 years. The expensive suits are gone, replaced by something off the rack that doesn't quite fit. His hairline has retreated, and there are stress lines around his eyes that weren't there 5 years ago. He scans the room, clearly expecting someone else. "Mr. Jordan?" I stand up slowly, keeping my sunglasses on. "Thank you for coming." "I'm sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I'm supposed to meet with—" I remove my sunglasses. The color drains from his face like someone pulled a plug. His mouth opens, then closes, then opens again. "Hello, Uncle Craig." He grabs the back of a chair to steady himself. "Reese, what? How? You're the CEO of Riley Investment." Surprised. I gesture to the chair across from me. "Please, sit. You said it was urgent." He sits heavily, still staring at me like I'm a ghost. "I don't understand. When did you— How did you build a multi-million-dollar business?" I smile and signal the server. "Would you like a drink? You look like you need one." Yes, whiskey. Double." "Make it top shelf," I tell the server. "Mr. Jordan is celebrating." "Celebrating what?" "The fact that you're about to learn what real baggage looks like." The whiskey arrives. Craig downs half of it immediately. "Look, Reese, if this is about what I said years ago, what you said—" I lean forward slightly. "You mean when you announced to my entire family that no man would ever want damaged goods like me?" "I was trying to help. Give you a reality check so you could—" "So I could what? Disappear? Give up? Crawl into a hole and die of shame?" He takes another gulp of whiskey. "You were 17 with a baby. Someone needed to tell you the truth. The truth." I nod slowly. "Well, here's some truth for you, Uncle Craig. Your business is bankrupt. Your house is in foreclosure. Your wife's jewelry is being sold on consignment. And according to your financial disclosure, you have exactly 47 days before you lose everything." His face goes white. "How do you know about Cynthia's jewelry?" "I know a lot of things. I know about the second mortgage you took out to cover your gambling debts. I know about the investment fund you mismanaged into the ground. I know about the lawsuit from the Henderson family. Jesus Christ, Reese, what do you want? Right now, I want to hear you ask. Ask what? For help. From damaged goods, from baggage, from the girl who would never amount to anything. He stares at me for a long moment, then drains his glass. Fine. I need a loan, a substantial one, to save my house and settle some debts. How substantial? 2 million. I don't blink. That's a lot of money to loan to someone with your track record. We're family. Are we? I tilt my head. Because I seem to remember family laughing while you humiliated me at Christmas dinner. I remember family staying silent while you told me I was worthless. That was different. You were young. You made mistakes. I made one mistake. You've made dozens. The difference is, I learned from mine. The server refills his glass without being asked. Craig's hands shake slightly as he reaches for it. What do you want me to say, Reese? That I'm sorry? Fine. I'm sorry. Oh, Uncle Craig. I lean back in my chair. I don't want your apology. I want something much more valuable. What? I want to watch you beg. Craig's face flushes red. You want me to beg? I want you to explain why your brilliant niece should risk $2 million on someone who's already proven he can't manage money. He straightens up, trying to find some dignity. Look, I made some bad investments. The market turned against me. It happens to everyone, does it? I pull out my phone and scroll through his file. Let's see. You invested client funds in a cryptocurrency scheme that was obviously fraudulent. You took out loans against properties you'd already mortgaged. You spent $50,000 at a casino in Atlantic City last month, while your house was in foreclosure proceedings. How do you know all this? Because I do my homework, Uncle Craig. Something you apparently stopped doing years ago. He reaches for his whiskey with shaking hands. The crypto thing was legitimate. The guy had references. From other people he was scamming. I didn't know that. You didn't want to know that. There's a difference. The server brings our appetizers. I ordered for both of us, oysters and caviar, the kind of expensive food Craig used to show off with. Eat. I tell him, you're going to need your strength. He ignores the food. Reese, please. I know I said things I shouldn't have, but we're family. Blood is thicker than... Than what? Than the humiliation you put me through? Than watching my own family laugh at me while I was struggling to survive? You were 17 and pregnant. What did you expect us to do? Throw you a party? I expected you not to kick me when I was down. He finally takes a bite of oyster, chewing slowly. You turned out fine. Better than fine. Look at this place. Look at you. You're successful. No thanks to you. Maybe I motivated you. I set down my fork carefully. Motivated me? Tough love. Sometimes people need a push to... Stop. My voice is quiet but sharp enough to cut glass. Don't you dare try to take credit for my success. I'm just saying, you're just saying nothing. You want to know what motivated me, Uncle Craig? It wasn't your tough love. It was spite. He blinks. Spite? Pure, concentrated spite. Every night I worked 2 jobs while Jaden slept in his car seat in break rooms. Every time I maxed out a credit card to attend a real estate seminar. Every time I studied investment strategies on my phone while other people my age were partying. I lean forward, my voice dropping lower. I remember one night specifically. Jaden was 6 months old, and I was working the night shift at a diner. My manager let me bring him because I couldn't afford a babysitter. I was reading real estate books during my break, and this customer, some drunk businessman, saw me studying and laughed, said I should focus on finding a husband instead of pretending I was smart enough for business. Craig shifts uncomfortably in his seat. You know what I did? I wrote down his name. I looked up his company. And 3 years later, when I had enough capital, I bought the building his business was leasing and tripled his rent. That's pretty vindictive. That's nothing compared to what I have planned for you. He sets down his glass hard enough to make the table shake. What do you want from me, Reese? You want me to grovel? Fine. I'm sorry I said those things. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I was an ass. There. Happy? Getting there. Then you'll approve the loan. I didn't say that. What do you need? Collateral? I can put up the house. The house that's already in foreclosure. There's equity left, and I have other assets. Like what? My boat, my wife's car, some investments that haven't gone bad yet. I pull out a tablet and start typing. Let's see. The boat has a lien against it from Harbour Bank. Your wife's car is leased, not owned. And your remaining investments are in a fund that's being investigated for fraud. His face goes pale again. How do you know about the investigation? I told you. I do my homework. Look, I'll sign over everything. Whatever you want. Just help me save the house. It's been in my family for 3 generations. Actually, it's been in our family for 3 generations. Your grandfather was my great-grandfather too, remember? Of course, yes. That's why I thought, family helping family, family. I taste the word like it's sour. Tell me, Uncle Craig, where was family when I was sleeping in my car because I couldn't make rent? Where was family when I was choosing between buying diapers and buying food? I didn't know. You didn't want to know. None of you did. I was an embarrassment, so you pretended I didn't exist. The server refills our water glasses. Craig hasn't touched his food. So, what happens now? He asks quietly. Now? Now I'm going to think about it. How long? As long as it takes. I stand up and put my sunglasses back on. Some debts can't be paid in dollars, Uncle Craig, but we're going to find out what yours are worth. The invitation arrives 3 days later. Jessica's 30th birthday party at my parents' house. The same house where Craig humiliated me 5 years ago. I almost throw it away, but then I notice the handwriting. It's my mother's, not Jessica's, and there's a note paper clipped to the invitation. It would mean so much to have the whole family together. Please come. Mom. She's never asked me to come to anything before. I show up in my Audi instead of the Range Rover. Don't want to seem too flashy. The house looks smaller than I remember, and the paint is peeling around the windows. My father answers the door. He's aged badly. More grey, more wrinkles, shoulders permanently hunched like he's carrying invisible weight. Reese. He seems genuinely surprised. You came. Happy birthday to Jessica. She's in the living room. Your mother's in the kitchen if you want to. I'll find her. The house smells the same. Coffee and old furniture and my mother's vanilla candles. But something feels different. Emptier. I notice spaces on the walls where family photos used to hang. Jessica squeals when she sees me, throwing her arms around me like we're best friends instead of sisters who haven't spoken in 2 years. Oh my God, Reese, you look amazing. Is that Chanel? Saint Laurent. I love it. We need to catch up. I have so much to tell you. She looks thinner than I remember, and there are dark circles under her makeup. Her wedding ring is gone. "Where's Marcus?" I ask. Her smile falters for just a second. "We're taking a break. Figuring things out. I'm sorry to hear that." "It's fine. Actually, it's better. He was... well, it doesn't matter now." My mother appears from the kitchen carrying a cake. She stops when she sees me, and for a moment, her composed mask slips. She looks almost relieved. "Reese, I wasn't sure you'd come." "Here I am. You look... successful." "I do okay." Craig and his wife Cynthia are sitting on the couch. Craig won't meet my eyes, but Cynthia waves like nothing's wrong. She's wearing a dress I recognize from 3 seasons ago, and her usual diamond earrings are missing. "Reese, darling, Craig told me you two had lunch the other day. How wonderful that you're reconnecting." "Something like that." My father brings me a glass of wine. Cheap stuff, not the bottles they use to serve at family gatherings. I notice he's drinking beer from a can instead of his usual scotch. "So?" Jessica says, pulling me aside. "I heard you're doing really well. Like, really well." "I can't complain." "That's amazing. I always knew you were smart. Smarter than the rest of us." She's buttering me up for something. I can tell by the way she keeps glancing toward the kitchen where my parents are whispering. "How's Jaden?" she continues. "He's 15 now, getting good grades, thinking about colleges." 15? God, I feel old. Private school? "Yes." "That must be expensive." "It's worth it." She nods enthusiastically. "Absolutely. Education is so important. I wish I could afford to go back to school myself. Maybe get my master's degree or something." "What's stopping you?" "Well, money, obviously. The divorce is complicated. Marcus left me with a lot of debt." "There it is. I'm sorry to hear that." "Actually, I was wondering if maybe we could talk later. Just the two of us. I have a proposition that might interest you." Before I can respond, my mother calls everyone to the dining room for cake. We gather around the same table where Craig destroyed me 5 years ago. The chairs are the same, but the expensive china is gone, replaced with everyday plates. Craig sits directly across from me, still avoiding eye contact. Cynthia keeps touching her bare earlobes like she's forgotten her jewelry isn't there. "Before we cut the cake," my mother says, "I want to say how happy I am that we're all together. Family is the most important thing we have." She looks directly at me when she says it. "Family sticks together through good times and bad," she continues. "We support each other, no matter what." Jessica nods along. My father stares at his hands. Craig finally looks up and meets my eyes across the table. "That's right," he says quietly. "Family helps family." After cake, I excuse myself to use the bathroom. On my way back, I hear voices from the kitchen, my mother and Craig talking in urgent whispers. "She has money, Samantha. Real money. More than we thought." "Are you sure she'll help?" "She has to. We're family, and if guilt doesn't work, we'll try something else." "What do you mean?" "I mean she owes us. We raised her, fed her, gave her a roof over her head. She wouldn't be where she is without us." My mother's voice drops lower. "What if she says no?" "Then we remind her that family secrets work both ways. I'm sure she doesn't want certain things getting out." I step back into the shadows, my heart pounding. They're planning to manipulate me, and if that doesn't work, they're planning to threaten me. I return to the living room with a smile plastered on my face. "This has been lovely," I tell Jessica. "We should definitely catch up soon." "Yes, I'll call you this week." I hug everyone goodbye, even Craig. When I reach him, I whisper in his ear. 43 days left. His face goes white, but he manages to smile for the others. That night, I sit at my kitchen table with a notebook. At the top of the page, I write, repayment plan. Underneath, I list every name from tonight's party. It's time to collect what I'm owed. Jessica calls me 3 days later, just like she promised. Hey, sis! Want to grab coffee? I found this cute little place downtown. Sure. When? How about now? I'm actually already here. Of course she is. Can't give me time to prepare or think of excuses. I find her at a corner table, fidgeting with her phone. She's wearing the same dress from the party, and her roots are showing. The golden child is looking a little tarnished. You look tired? I tell her as I sit down. Thanks. You look amazing as always. She forces a laugh. I ordered you a latte. Hope that's okay. It's fine. We make small talk for exactly 3 minutes before she cuts to the chase. So I wanted to talk to you about something. A business opportunity, actually. I'm listening. Well, you know Marcus and I are getting divorced, and he's being a complete arse about the finances. He's claiming I ran up all this debt, which is total bullshit because half of it was his gambling problem. She takes a shaky sip of her coffee. Anyway, I'm in a bit of a bind. I need about 50,000 to get back on my feet. Just temporarily, you know. I'll pay you back with interest. 50,000 is a lot of money. Not for you, though, right? I mean, Craig told us about your company. You're, like, really successful now. Craig talks too much. He's proud of you. We all are. I lean back in my chair. Are you? Of course. You're my sister. Your sister who you laughed at when Craig called me damaged goods. Her face flushes. That was years ago, Reese. We were all different people then. Were we? Look, I know I wasn't the most supportive back then. I was young and stupid and... You were 23, old enough to know better. You're right. I'm sorry. I should have stood up for you. But you didn't. No, I didn't. And I regret it every day. She reaches across the table and touches my hand. Please, Reese. I'm desperate here. Marcus cleaned out our joint account and moved in with his secretary. I can't even make my mortgage payment. Where are you living? The condo downtown, the one Marcus bought before we got married. I know the building. Expensive area, but the units are overpriced for what you get. Perfect for someone trying to look successful while drowning in debt. I'll think about it, I tell her. Really? Really. She practically melts with relief. Thank you. I knew you'd understand. Family has to stick together, right? Right. That afternoon, I make some calls. By evening, I own Jessica's debt. It's surprisingly easy when you have the right connections. The bank is happy to sell a defaulted loan to an investment firm, especially one with my track record. They get the bad debt off their books, and I get leverage. 3 days later, I'm standing in Jessica's condo with an eviction notice. She opens the door in pajamas, her hair unwashed, eyes red from crying. Reese, what are you doing here? I'm here about your mortgage. Did you talk to the bank? Can you help me work something out? I am the bank now. I bought your loan yesterday. She stares at me like I'm speaking a foreign language. What does that mean? It means you owe me money. A lot of money. And you're 3 months behind on payments. But you're my sister. Yes, I am. The sister you laughed at. The sister you ignored when she needed help. The sister you only call when you want something. That's not fair. Isn't it? I hand her the eviction notice. You have 30 days. 30 days to what? To find somewhere else to live. Her hands shake as she reads the document. You can't do this. We're family. Family sticks together, right? That's what Mom said at your party. So, where was my family when I was sleeping in my car? That was different. How? You made choices. You got pregnant. You dropped out. I made one mistake. You've made dozens. The difference is, nobody laughed at you for yours. She sinks onto her couch, still holding the notice. Please, Reese. I'll pay you back. I'll get a job. You had a job. You quit because it was beneath you. Remember? I can get another one. Good. You'll need it. I turn to leave, but she grabs my arm. What happened to you? You used to be kind. You used to care about people. I learned from the best teachers, my family. Back at the office, Daria is waiting with Craig's updated financial report. It's gotten worse since our lunch meeting. His business partner filed a lawsuit yesterday, she says. Something about misappropriated funds. How much? 800,000. I smile. Perfect timing. Reese, can I ask you something? Sure. What's your endgame here? Because it looks like you're systematically destroying your entire family. I'm not destroying anything. I'm just removing the masks. And then what? Then they'll know what it feels like to be alone. Daria sets the report on my desk. You know, there's a difference between justice and revenge. Is there? Justice is about balance. Revenge is about pain. Maybe they're the same thing. Maybe, but one of them lets you sleep at night. That evening, Jaden finds me in my home office, staring at Craig's file. Mom, you've been weird lately. Weird how? I don't know. Angry. Like, all the time angry. I'm not angry. You're doing that thing with your jaw. You always do that when you're pissed off. I touch my face. He's right. I've been clenching my teeth without realizing it. It's just work stuff. Is it worth it? Is what worth it? Whatever you're doing that's making you so angry all the time. I look at my 15-year-old son, the reason I fought so hard, the reason I survived when everyone said I wouldn't. Yes, I tell him. It's worth it. But for the first time since this started, I'm not entirely sure I believe it. The letter arrives on a Tuesday, buried in a stack of mail I almost throw away. It's addressed to me, but the return address makes my blood freeze. Toby O'Brien, attorney at law. I know that name. Craig's old business partner, the one who got out before everything went to hell. Inside is a photocopy of a letter dated 15 years ago. The letterhead reads, Jordan Consulting Group, and it's signed by Craig. Dear Marcus, thank you for reaching out regarding Reese. I understand your concerns about the situation, and I want to assure you that the family appreciates your discretion. As we discussed, the enclosed check should cover your relocation expenses and help you start fresh in California. Reese is young and will recover from this disappointment. In time, she'll understand that this is what's best for everyone involved. The family asks only that you maintain no contact with Reese or the child going forward. A clean break serves everyone's interests. Sincerely, Craig Jordan. Attached is a copy of a cashier's check for $25,000 made out to Marcus Rivera, Jaden's father. My hands shake as I read it again, and again. Craig paid him to leave. My uncle paid my boyfriend to abandon me and our baby. I drive to my parents' house without calling first. My mother answers the door in her bathrobe, looking older than her 58 years. Reese, what's wrong? You look... I shove the letter into her hands. Did you know? She reads it, her face going pale. Where did you get this? Did. You. No. She steps aside to let me in, closing the door behind me. Sit down. Let me explain. Explain what? That you all conspired to destroy my life? We were trying to protect you. Protect me? You paid my boyfriend to abandon me. Craig paid him. Your father and I didn't know until after... Bullshit. My father appears in the doorway, drawn by our raised voices. He sees the letter in my mother's hands, and his shoulders sag. She found out, my mother tells him. I was wondering when this would surface, he says quietly. You knew too? Craig told us after Marcus left, said he'd handled the situation. The situation? You mean your pregnant daughter? You were 17, Reese. A baby having a baby. Marcus was 19 with no job, no prospects. What kind of life would that have been? My life! My choice! You were going to drop out of school, throw your future away for some boy who got you pregnant and didn't even want to marry you. He did want to marry me. We had plans. We were going to figure it out together. My mother sits heavily in her chair. He took the money, Reese. $25,000. If he really loved you, would he have done that? He was 19 and scared, and you offered him an escape. Of course he took it. Maybe we made a mistake, my father says. But we thought... You thought what? That I was too stupid to make my own decisions? Too worthless to deserve love? We thought you deserved better than a teenage marriage that would probably end in divorce anyway. So, you made sure it ended before it started. My mother reaches for my hand, but I pull away. Look how well you turned out. You're successful, independent. I'm successful, despite you, not because of you. Every single thing I achieved, I did alone while you all pretended I didn't exist. That's not true. Isn't it? When's the last time any of you called me? Visited? Asked about Jaden? They exchange glances, but don't answer. The only reason I'm here now is because Craig needs money. The only reason Jessica called is because she needs money. The only reason you invited me to that party is because you need money. We're family, my mother says weakly. No, we're not. Family doesn't do what you did. I stand up to leave, but my father blocks my path. What are you going to do with that letter? What do you think I'm going to do? Reese, please. Craig is already in trouble. This would destroy him. Good. It would destroy all of us. If people find out what he did, what we knew. You should have thought of that 15 years ago. My mother starts crying. We made a mistake. We know that now. But please don't punish us for trying to protect you. Protect me? You abandoned me. All of you. We can make this right, my father says desperately. We can be a real family again. It's too late for that. I push past him toward the door. Reese, wait. My mother's voice is broken. What do you want from us? I turn back to face them. I want you to know what it feels like to lose everything. I want you to understand what you put me through. And then? And then... Nothing. There is no and then. That night, I call Craig. He answers on the first ring. Reese? Thank God. I've been waiting to hear from you about the loan. I know about Marcus. Silence. I know you paid him to leave. I have the letter. Reese, I can explain. Tomorrow, 2:00, my office. And Craig? Yes? Bring your lawyer! You're going to need one. I hang up and stare at the letter again. 15 years of wondering why Marcus left. 15 years of thinking I wasn't good enough, wasn't worth staying for. 15 years of lies. Tomorrow, Craig is going to learn what real consequences look like. Craig arrives at my office without a lawyer. He looks like he hasn't slept in days. Wrinkled clothes, bloodshot eyes, hands that won't stop shaking. "Sit down," I tell him. He collapses into the chair across from my desk, like a man who's already been defeated. "The letter," he says quietly. "How did you get it?" "Your old business partner Toby sent it to me. Apparently his conscience finally caught up with him." "Toby always was weak." "Weak? He's trying to make amends for what you did. That's not weak. That's decent. Something you wouldn't understand." Craig runs his hands through his thinning hair. "Look, I know how this looks, but how it looks like you destroyed my life for sport. I was trying to help you." "Help me?" I lean forward. "You paid my boyfriend to abandon me and our baby. How exactly was that helping?" "Marcus was going to leave anyway. He told me so himself." "Bullshit." "It's true. He came to me, said he was scared, said he didn't know what to do. He was already looking for a way out." "So, you gave him one?" "I gave him what he wanted, and saved you from a lifetime of disappointment." I stand up and walk to the window. "Do you know what I did the night Marcus disappeared?" "Reese." "I sat in my car outside his apartment for 4 hours, waiting for him to come home. I had a bag packed with baby clothes and formula. I thought maybe we could drive somewhere, start over." "You were 17? "I was 17, and in love, and ready to fight for my family. But you took that choice away from me." "He took the money. That tells you everything you need to know about his character." I turn back to face him. "He was 19 years old, and you offered him more money than he'd ever seen. What did you expect?" "I expected him to do the right thing." "The right thing? You mean like what you did?" Craig's face flushes red. "I did what I thought was best for everyone." "No, you did what was best for your reputation. You couldn't stand having a teenage mother in the family. It embarrassed you." "That's not—" "It is true. And you know what the really sick part is? You enjoyed it. You enjoyed humiliating me at family dinners, enjoyed watching me struggle, enjoyed reminding everyone what a disappointment I was." "I never enjoyed—" "Yes, you did. Because it made you feel superior. It made you feel like the successful one, the responsible one." I walk back to my desk and pull out a folder. "Well, Uncle Craig, let's talk about responsibility." I spread documents across the desk. Bank statements, loan applications, court filings. "Your house goes to auction next week. Your business assets have been seized. Your wife filed for separation yesterday and froze your joint accounts." His face goes white. "How do you know about Cynthia?" "I know everything, including the fact that you forged her signature on 3 different loan documents." "She knew about those loans. Did she? Because according to her lawyer, she had no idea you'd mortgaged her mother's jewelry as collateral." Craig slumps in his chair. "What do you want, Reese?" "I want you to understand what you took from me." I pull out my phone and scroll to a photo. Me at 19, holding baby Jaden in a hospital waiting room. This was taken the night Jaden had pneumonia. I'd been working double shifts to pay for his medicine, and I fell asleep in the chair next to his crib. Craig glances at the photo, then looks away. "I was alone, Uncle Craig. Completely alone. No family, no support, no one to call when I was scared my baby might die. We would have helped if you'd asked." "I did ask. I called Mom when Jaden was born. She hung up on me. That's not... I called Dad when I couldn't make rent. He told me I'd made my bed and now I had to lie in it. We were hurt. We were angry. You were ashamed. There's a difference. I close the folder and lean back in my chair. But here's what you didn't count on. Every night I spent alone, every insult you threw at me, every time you made me feel worthless, it all went into a bank account. What kind of bank account? A rage account. And it's been collecting interest for 15 years. Craig's hands are shaking worse now. What are you going to do? I'm going to foreclose on your house. I'm going to make sure everyone knows about the forged documents, the gambling debts, the way you stole from your clients. You can't. I already have. The story breaks tomorrow in the business section. Local investment advisor faces fraud charges. Reese, please, I'm begging you. Now you're begging. 15 years too late, but finally. He starts to cry, actual tears running down his face. I'll lose everything. Good. Now you know how I felt. What about family? What about forgiveness? Family? I laugh, but there's no humor in it. You want to talk about family? Let me tell you about my family. I stand up and walk around the desk until I'm standing directly in front of him. My family is a 15-year-old boy who's never known his father because you paid him to disappear. My family is the woman who raised that boy alone while her own relatives pretended she didn't exist. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't give me back 15 years, Uncle Craig. Sorry doesn't erase the nights I cried myself to sleep, wondering what was wrong with me. What can I do? Tell me what I can do to make this right. Nothing. There's nothing you can do. I walk back to my desk and press the intercom button. Daria, please escort Mr. Craig out of the building. Wait, he says, standing up. The house. It belonged to your great-grandfather. It's family history. It was family history. Now it's just another asset. You can't sell it. It's been in the family for generations. Watch me. Daria appears in the doorway. Mr. Craig, this way, please. As they reach the door, Craig turns back one last time. Was it worth it, Reese? Destroying your own family? I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped pretending it existed. After he's gone, I sit alone in my office, staring at the documents spread across my desk. Everything I've worked for, everything I've planned, has led to this moment. My phone buzzes. A text from Jaden. How was your day, Mom? I stare at the message for a long time before typing back. Productive. But as I hit send, I realize I don't feel as satisfied as I thought I would. The auction is held on a crisp Thursday morning in October. I watch from my car as strangers walk through the house that's been in my family for 3 generations, poking at fixtures and measuring rooms. Craig stands on the front porch with a realtor, his face hollow. Cynthia isn't there. According to the divorce papers filed last week, she's moved in with her sister in Phoenix. My phone rings. It's Daria. The Henderson lawsuit settled, she says. Craig's paying them back in installments over the next 10 years, assuming he can find work. Good. There's something else. Jessica called the office. She wants to meet with you. About what? She wouldn't say, but she sounded different. Less desperate, more, I don't know, determined. I hang up and drive to the coffee shop where Jessica and I met weeks ago. She's already there, but this time she looks put together. Her hair is styled, her clothes are clean, and she's not fidgeting. Thank you for coming, she says as I sit down. What do you want, Jessica? I got a job. 2 jobs, actually. Waitressing during the day, bartending at night. Congratulations. I found a studio apartment in the old part of town. It's small, but it's mine. I'm paying my own rent. Good for you. She takes a deep breath. I also found out about Marcus. My stomach tightens. What about him? I hired a private investigator. Cost me a week's tips, but I had to know the truth. She slides a manila envelope across the table. He's in San Diego. Married, 2 kids. Works as a mechanic. I don't touch the envelope. Why are you telling me this? Because I know what Craig did. Mum told me about the letter. And? And I wanted you to know that Marcus tried to come back. Now, I look at her. What? 3 months after Jaden was born, he drove all the way from California, showed up at Mom and Dad's house asking for your address. That's not possible. Dad turned him away, told him you'd moved on, that you didn't want to see him. My hand starts shaking. You're lying. I'm not. Dad admitted it when I confronted him. He said they were protecting you from more disappointment. Where's your proof? Jessica opens the envelope and pulls out a photograph. It shows a young man standing on my parents' front porch, holding flowers. Even from a distance, I recognize Marcus. The investigator found this in Dad's desk when he was helping Mom pack up the house. There are 3 more just like it. I stare at the photo. Marcus looks older than I remember, but his face is full of hope. He came back. He actually came back. Why are you showing me this? Because what they did to you was wrong. What Craig did, what Mom and Dad did, what I did by staying silent. All of it was wrong. Little late for that realization. I know, but I wanted you to understand something. What? You won. You destroyed Craig. You made us all pay for what we did. But you also destroyed yourself. I'm fine. Are you? When's the last time you smiled? Really smiled. Not that cold thing you do in business meetings. I don't know what you're talking about. Jaden called me. My blood freezes. When? Last week. He's worried about you. Says you've changed, that you're angry all the time. He had no right. He had every right. He's your son, and he loves you. Jessica leans forward. He also said something else. He said he wishes he could meet his father. That's not happening. Why not? Because you're afraid Marcus might be a good man who made a mistake when he was 19. Because you're afraid you might have to forgive someone. I don't forgive people who abandon their children. He didn't abandon Jaden. He never even knew about the pneumonia, the nights you spent alone, the struggles you went through. All he knew was that you didn't want to see him. I stand up to leave, but Jessica grabs my wrist. You've spent 15 years punishing everyone for something that wasn't entirely their fault. When does it end? When I say it ends. And when will that be? When Craig is homeless? When Mom and Dad lose their house too? When you've burned every bridge and you're standing alone on an island made of money and rage? I pull my hand away. I am alone. I've always been alone. No, you're not. You have Jaden, and if you keep going down this path, you're going to lose him too. That night, I find Jaden in his room, doing homework. He looks up when I knock on his doorframe. Hey, Mom. Hey, how was school? Fine. He closes his textbook. Can I ask you something? Sure. Are you happy? The question catches me off guard. What do you mean? I mean, you got your revenge. You won. Are you happy now? I sit on the edge of his bed. It's complicated. Is it? Because you seem miserable. I'm not miserable. Mom, you haven't laughed in weeks. You barely eat. You work all the time, and when you're home, you're angry about something. I'm fine, Jaden. No, you're not. And neither am I. What do you mean? He takes a deep breath. I want to meet my dad. Jaden. I know what happened. Aunt Jessica told me. I know he didn't just abandon us. He took money to leave. He was 19 and scared, just like you were 17 and scared. It's not the same thing. Isn't it? I look at my son, this brilliant, compassionate boy who somehow turned out better than all of us, despite everything. What if he disappoints you? What if he doesn't? What if he's not the man you want him to be? What if he is? I reach into my purse and pull out the envelope Jessica gave me. His address is in here. Jaden's eyes widen. Really? Really. But if we do this, if we contact him, there's no going back. I know. And if he hurts you, if he disappoints you, then we'll deal with it. Together. I hand him the envelope. Together. He opens it and stares at the address. San Diego's not that far. No, it's not. Mom. Yeah. Thank you. For what? For being strong enough to survive, and for being strong enough to let go. I look around his room, at the awards on his walls, the books on his shelves, the photos of us together. This is what matters. This is what I fought for. They said no man would ever marry a girl with baggage, I tell him. They were wrong about a lot of things. Yeah, they were, but they were right about one thing. What's that? I never needed a man to marry me. I just needed to believe in myself. Jaden smiles, the first real smile I've seen from him in weeks. So, what now? He asks. Now we plan a trip to San Diego, and then we figure out what comes next. What about your revenge? I think about Craig, probably sitting in some cheap apartment, wondering how his life fell apart. I think about my parents, packing up their house, finally understanding what they put me through. I think it served its purpose. Which was what? Showing them who I really am. Showing myself who I really am. And who's that? Someone who doesn't need their approval anymore. Someone who doesn't need their apologies. Someone who's strong enough to walk away. Are you going to forgive them? I don't know. Maybe someday. But forgiveness isn't for them. It's for me. And I'm not ready yet. That's okay. Is it? Mom, you spent 15 years proving you were better than them. I think that's enough. I kiss his forehead and stand up. Get some sleep. We have a trip to plan. As I walk toward the door, he calls out to me. Mom? Yeah? I'm proud of you. For what? For everything. I close his door and walk to my room, where I sit at my desk and open my laptop. I have an email to write to a mechanic in San Diego who probably thinks his son doesn't want to know him. It's time to find out what's left when the revenge is over. It's time to find out what comes after winning.